everybody, and welcome to Unwanted Commentary. I'm Coco, and today we are going to be talking about MrBeast Finger on the App Challenge, which you probably know what it is if you clicked on this video, but if you don't, here's the real quick summary. MrBeast has created a challenge where you, yes you, on June 30th have the chance of competing for up to $25,000 if you have an iPhone. Basically, he's made an app for iPhone, which is a game with the objective of keeping your finger on the app the longest. That's right, the person who has their finger on the app the longest out of all his subscribers, or just anyone who's decided to play in this challenge, that person will win up to $25,000. It is a super awesome, innovative concept, and in this video, I'm going to be discussing, is it possible to cheat this game that MrBeast has created? We will find out. And in case MrBeast actually comes across this video, because it's probably the only video that he actually ever has a chance of seeing from me, Jimmy, you truly are an inspiration. You are one of the nicest, most positive content creators on this platform, and you are always upping the bar, and you're just an inspiration. Keep doing what you're doing. But now that my fangirling has stopped, let us get into the video. So for a person to be able to hack and cheat a system, they must understand
how the system works.
They must understand all of its boundaries and all this other stuff. And I'm geeking out on this because I love this.
Because I love this stuff.
For those of you who don't know, I have a master's in computer science, and my specialization was in human-computer interactions, which encompasses things like, you know, UI design and all that stuff. So I love this. I think this is awesome. Basically, I don't have an iPhone, so I haven't been able to play with that, but from watching some YouTube videos, this is how the app works. You have this screen with a lot of lines, and basically, you put your finger down, and whenever you move, the lines distort. I feel like that's more there to keep people's attention on the app, but it could also be there for more technical reasons like sizing up the fingers
and stuff like that
to verify that nobody is cheating.
But let's be honest, it's probably just there to look cool.
Another aspect of the game that I think is really cool, but you'd really expect, is that you'll be able to see how many other people are competing right now. Like, I would love to see live streams of the last few people and how they like feel. They're like, oh my god, I can't remove my finger. You know, that would just be really cool. So some of you might be thinking, oh, if all you have to do is keep the finger on the app, couldn't you just take one of those touchscreen pens and keep it on the screen? No, you can't, because in the practice mode, it shows that every so often there will be a little dot that is a countdown from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Basically, if you don't move to that circle and touch it before the countdown ends, you're out. So that means that there does have to be some intelligent system moving the finger around the screen so that this circle is touched within the countdown and you don't get out. Which then you're probably thinking, oh, all someone needs to do is make a robot that moves a pen around the screen, which has been done. I came across this video on TikTok and I was like, of course somebody did it, you know? And yeah, MrBeast has seen this. He even commented that there's gonna be a fix in for this issue, so the robots won't actually be able to cheat it. But then you think,
there must be another way.
Which there always is, right? Let's remember, MrBeast likes to throw in, you know, little curveballs to trip people up when they're doing challenges. One of the most recent instances of this is when they were building the giant Lego towers. Each team was allowed to throw a bowling ball at the other team's tower, you know, to kind of like
trip them up.
So what are some things that could happen with this game? First of all, let's talk about the ones that might come from somewhere other than MrBeast. If someone calls your phone, I don't know if the app has disabled phone calls, but if someone calls your phone, you might be screwed. Also, Amber Alerts. I think Amber Alerts are actually a prioritized interrupt, so no matter what the app is doing, an Amber Alert may come through. I don't have an iPhone, so I don't know how it works on iPhone, but on Android, Amber Alerts are super annoying because they get in the way.
But it also sucks that children are getting kidnapped,
So if you can disable those, disable those. Another thing that could trip someone up is if there are vibrations on the app. Imagine you're like lightly touching the screen and then a strong vibration comes on your phone and your finger actually lifts off the screen for a couple seconds. That might be really stupid, but luckily you can get extra lives. Yes, there is a screen that says if you have Bluetooth on and you are playing next to other people who are also playing, you get 3 lives, which is really smart on MrBeast's part because it gets more people involved.
The more the merrier.
And that's always good.
Unless it's a turn-based game, because then that sucks.
Another thing to consider that could get you out of this game is going to the bathroom. I would recommend just sitting at the toilet all day with your pants down, because pulling down your pants with just one hand when the other hand is holding your phone is gonna be a bad time. You can eat with one hand easily, but I'm not sure about like pulling down your pants to go to the bathroom and also like washing your hands. You better have some hand sanitizer because washing your hands is gonna be a pain. insane, okay? But yeah, you also better have a charger for your phone that is constantly connected, because if you run out of battery, you're kind of doomed. Like, also, you're gonna want to make sure that you have a really good internet connection, because if it goes out, you'll probably lose your place because it'll disconnect from the server, and they probably don't want to take chances, so you'll probably be out. One of the other pro tips that I would recommend is using your thumb, right? So you can hold the phone vertically and have your thumb on it swiping. I mean, people with small hands might have a problem, because when it comes time to hit one of the blue circles that's really out of range of your thumb, you might be screwed. No! Don't you miss back in the day when the iPhone 4 was really small? But yeah, personally, I miss when we had smaller phones, because the travel distance for your thumb when typing and doing stuff was shorter. But yeah, I mean, I don't even know if those old iPhones support the version of iOS that is the minimum requirement for this game, but you know, that's one thing to consider. So hold your phone vertically, be at the toilet, have some hand sanitizer. What other pro tips could there be? Make sure nobody is messing with your router, because even switching between your data and your Wi-Fi could get you out. So you probably want to get extra lives from your friend. So an easy way to get extra lives is to just get somebody else in your family, or maybe your neighbor, to also download the app, put Bluetooth on so you get your 3 extra lives, so that just in case you need to wash your hands, or just in case something happens, you do have that extra life. If you can think of any more helpful tips that you think will help people do better in this challenge, put them in the comments.
Don't be selfish.
Like, to be completely honest, I don't think this challenge will last more than 24 hours, but I could be wrong, because I think the only sane thing to do would be for MrBeast to throw in some curveballs. What could these curveballs be?
I thought you'd never ask.
Well, just like any good poker player, you never show your hand. You never show all your tricks up front. So the practice mode may have these little blue dots that have a 5-second countdown. But in the final update of the game, which MrBeast has said there is going to be, there's a possibility that there are more challenges where they put a line where you actually have to draw on the line, right? And that kills the robot, because unless you have a really sophisticated AI in the year of 2020, you have to train a machine on the rules of a system for it to know what to do.
In short, machines learn by trying and failing multiple times so that they can learn what the right thing to do is.
So for example, if somebody knows that there's going to be a blue circle which a robot would have to move the finger to within 5 seconds, you can program that into the system. But let's say if there's a drawing thing, right, where there's a line on screen and you have to draw the line, the robot doesn't know how to do that. It doesn't know what it needs to do. It'll see the line, it'll be like, I don't know what to do, or it'll just ignore it. It won't detect that it needs to do anything to that line.
And you're out.
You are out, robot boy, because you do not know the constraints. But yeah, the only way to really cheat the system is to know all the possibilities so that you can program them into a robot. So honestly, I don't think there are gonna be any robots or programs outsmarting this thing. Like, if this was on Android, maybe somebody could make an app that emulated movements on the screen. Or if someone was in developer mode on their phone, I don't know what the iOS APIs look like, but you could probably emulate
An input on the screen.
but I don't think it's gonna be done. Hello, I'm here from the future adding this in. So one of these OS software hacks that was actually found by this person named Sorgen on YouTube was actually, if you use the app in tabbed out mode, you know, like when you're switching apps, the blue circles stop spawning. But I'm not sure if they actually stop spawning or if they just stop appearing because they're a new UI element. I don't have much experience with iOS, but yeah, to be completely honest, I wouldn't mess with that, because I don't know if tabbing out also puts you at risk of it disconnecting, right? Like, you could switch apps, or it becomes easier to actually close the app if you're tabbed out. Like, I don't know how that works, but I wouldn't risk it. But Sorgen actually made a video on it so that he could notify MrBeast and his team that this bug should be looked into and patched. So good on him. It's actually really nice that the community wants a fair challenge, so I can respect that. So basically, the only real way to beat this game is to stay up through the whole challenge and to have your finger constantly on it,
AKA, don't be a cheater.
and make sure not to be a stupid distracted idiot like Chandler, always getting distracted.
It can do tricks. No.
We love you, Chandler, but you don't win that many challenges.
You can say that again.
So yeah, I don't think some robot is going to be beating this challenge, because MrBeast and his team will probably have, you know, programmed in some little challenges like drawing a line or holding in one place, right? Because the robot we saw only knew that it needed to touch the circle and pass over it. It didn't know that it needed to stay there for a certain amount of time. So if the app throws any curveballs like that, the robot's gonna lose. So I think that covers
cheating.
or like any plausible cheating. So one last thing I wanted to talk about with this is that there's a mechanic in this game that every time a person gets out, they can choose whether they think the winner should get 1 cent or $25,000. And at the end of the game, all the answers from all the people who got out will be averaged, and that will be the prize for the winner. So in theory, everybody could be really petty, and once they got out, they could say, oh, I don't want the winner to win, I want them to get 1 cent. So if you get like a bunch of people putting in 1 cent, it lowers the average, which is kind of a shitty thing to do. I mean, how petty is that? Very. So if you do play the game and you do get out, I do encourage you to slide the slider all the way up to 25,000 for the winner to win. I'm not saying this because I'm going to be playing, because I'm not going to be playing because I don't have an iPhone. And personally, I know I would lose this challenge, so I'm not really about to invest my time into, you know, playing it at all.
What are you, chicken?
But yeah, it's really interesting. I think what MrBeast has done here is super awesome. I've actually wanted to make videos on his innovativeness in the past, and I think I will
in the future.
But yeah, MrBeast's Finger on the App challenge starts on June 30th. So if you have an iPhone and you want to win some money and you got a whole day to do nothing, I encourage you to do it. And also follow MrBeast on Twitter, because if you weren't following him on Twitter, you probably wouldn't know about this.
Unless you learned about it from me, so if you win, you owe me money. Just kidding.
And for you people on TikTok, MrBeast currently has a challenge where you could win $10,000 by making a TikTok using his sound and getting the most likes.
Turns out things have changed.
Small problem with my $10,000 TikTok giveaway. I didn't know this, but money giveaways on TikTok are actually against the community guidelines. So long story short, I'm gonna end the $10,000 challenge a few days early.
So there's your fun tip of the day. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button, and it would really help me out if you just went and watched another one of my videos. You know, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you like my content before you subscribe. I would also like to thank my patrons, and as always, never share your password.